Der Tag neigt sich dem Ende entgegen. Deswegen sollten wir uns beeilen, dass wir hier Chama treffen können. Hab ich jetzt falsch ausgesprochen? Wahrscheinlich. Na, reicht meine Ausdauer? Na, ich glaube schon. Ich finde es übrigens sehr witzig, dass man... Das wollte ich mal kurz zeigen. Hier, Leute. Also, man kann Nattland betreten. Obwohl, nee, Quatsch. Anders. Wenn man das Spiel das erste Mal startet, dann ist es ganz witzigerweise so, man kann Nattland betreten, man kann die Höhe betreten, man kann nach Sumuro gehen und nach Fontaine und so weiter und so fort. Aber man kann nicht Inazuma betreten, wenn man das nicht in der Story gemacht hat. Das finde ich irgendwie ein bisschen komisch. Warum ist das eigentlich so? In Bezug auf meinen neuen Account. Ich meine, ich kann überall hingehen, auch wenn das von der Story ich da noch sehr weit entfernt bin. Aber nach Inazuma, um da zum Beispiel Geisterkerne zu sammeln, oder wie heißt das? Nee, Gespensterkerne zu sammeln für, naja, Inazuma-Charaktere halt, wie Kirara zum Beispiel. Das geht zum Beispiel nicht. Da muss ich erst in der Story erstmal dahin schippern. Das finde ich ein bisschen merkwürdig. Hat vielleicht mit der Programmierung zu tun.
Did you get everything?
Yep, it's all here. When do we start?
I've made all the necessary adjustments, so we're good to go.
Jetzt bin ich gespannt, wie sich das jetzt gestaltet haben mit diesem Reich.
As agreed, I'll help you find Kachina's ancient name, and then you return the favor. Go ahead. After Malko fell, I scoured the battlefield to see what happened. It turned out he wasn't bested by some impossibly powerful foe. He was dragged to his grave by the sheer number of enemies. If I had been there, I would have been able to sense the danger. I could have warned them not to advance. I've always blamed myself for what happened. But when you told me about Kachina, I realized there's a chance Malko might also be alive, fighting for survival in the Night Kingdom.
But that happened several years ago, right? The Pyro Archon said all life within the Night Kingdom eventually becomes one with the Sea of Souls.
There might not be much hope, but I still have to try. Malko and I promised each other, even if we never managed to root out the Abyss for good, we would fight together until the end. All right, let's get to it. I'll start searching for the conceptualized version of Kachina's ancient name. If you see any fragments scattered around the area, please collect them. Make sure you prepare yourselves for battle. As I said, the stone will link the mortal realm to the Night Kingdom. The Abyss will likely emerge in response.
Look at that golden thing. It must be one of those fragments Vichama mentioned. Let's get closer.
Ist das jetzt hier schon das, achso, wir müssen jetzt mal öffnen wahrscheinlich, also um das Nachtkönigreich zu kommen. Wohl, na komm, machen wir doch hier einfach, logischerweise. Doch viel schneller mit Jelan. Nein, dasselbe wie, damals im Abgrund mache ich nicht, dass ich wieder ihren Namen 1000-mal falsch ausspreche. Aber die sind so nett, die will ich doch gar nicht töten. Obwohl, naja gut, es sind ja Nachtversionen von denen. Da könnt ihr doch mal sehen, was eine voll ausgebaute, naja, halbwegs voll ausgebaute Aletino alles leisten kann. Natürlich, ja. Abyss Mages. Kurz mal gelöscht. Was? Da hätte immer noch was drin? Ja. Bam.
How much longer, Vichama?
Not long. We're getting close.
Es ist ja schließlich nur noch die Hälfte. Hätte, wenn ich jetzt nicht kurz vor der Spitze, kommt bestimmt noch mal eine kleine Horde auf uns zu. Wetten? Ach, doch nicht.
Quick, take it! I found Kachina's ancient name. Hang in there, Malko. Just a little longer.
Something's not right. The power of the Abyss is getting stronger.
Ich rieche einen Bosskampf.
corroding his body. Vichama, you can't keep going. You'll die.
I should have died 5 years ago. I just need a little more time. Please, I'm almost there. Thank you.
Oh, ach stimmt ja, unser Entsaugungstrick. Bep, 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 bep.
Whoa, watch out! The power of the abyss is strong.
Dieses kleine Tit, 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 Tit macht das Ganze irgendwie ein bisschen weniger. Ein bisschen die Dramatik aus. Habe ich bei der Foltersequenz in Metal Gear Solid gelernt.
This power.
Hanging in there?
Malco. No, why can't I find him? Why?
We can't wait any longer. Pull him away from the stone, Mualani.
I already tried, but the power of the abyss has him in a chokehold. It's like he's tied to the stone with an invisible rope.
In that case, we have no choice. I'm sorry, Sea Lolly. Get back!
Chasca, wait!
Ouch! What happened just now? It looked like the spirit speaker's stone was...
Es ist immer wieder verwirrend, wenn man durch Heimanns Augen schauen muss.
The stone's power was spiraling out of control. The only way to stop it was to destroy it. You were all caught in the shockwave of the explosion. You might feel dizzy for a while, but that's normal.
Give us a heads up next time, will you? You're lucky we managed to dodge it in time.
I thought I said to get back.
Yeah, barely a second before you made it go poof. Not everyone has your reflexes, Chasca. We were this close to getting dragged into the explosion.
Okay, I'll be more careful next time.
Ich würde sagen, dass du nächstes Mal einfach ein bisschen mehr Abstand halten musst.
At least Kachina's ancient name is still in one piece. Wait, where's Vichama? Vichama!
Vichama!
I couldn't find Malco's ancient name. It must be completely gone by now. Once your ancient name disappears, there's no coming back. From the very beginning, I knew there was a slim chance, but still. And now... it's too late to save him. From the minute he left that day.
Vichama.
I'm sure he's heard enough condolences over the years. Let's just give him some space.
Huh? What's that in your hands, Vichama? It looks like something's glowing.
Huh? This is...
Was ist jetzt passiert?
Hey, Malco. Got any strength left?
Not enough to swing a sword, but to say a few last words? Sure.
Too bad. No one will get to hear them. I never thought I'd actually die on this mission. Not that I'm afraid to die. It's just... hard. Thinking about my mom's face when she hears the news.
Guess I have something to be thankful for then. My parents died a long time ago. They won't have to mourn me. Pisak! Always had to beat me at everything, didn't you? Right to the end, you were never one for goodbyes. Maybe you're right. Maybe no one will get to hear our last words. But just in case, Vichama, I'm so glad you didn't come with us.
Ich frage mich, ob es eine tiefere Bedeutung hat, dass seine Stimme sich so anders anhört als die von seinen Kameraden da.
Don't be sad. Just keep on living. For the both of us.
Was that a memory?
Seems like we were able to salvage something after all.
Of course. Seeing him, hearing his voice again, it makes me unbelievably happy. But it also brings with it an even deeper pain.
A deeper pain? Why?
Malco was always the type to put on a brave face. But in that memory just now, his hands were shaking, and his smile was forced. For all these years, I regretted not being able to fight alongside him to the end. And now I know, at the end of his life, he was thinking the same thing.
Vichama.
I'm fine. Actually, I heard Chief Wyna wasn't really on board with your plan to go to the Night Kingdom. When you asked for my help, I hesitated too. I knew helping you find your friend's ancient name meant leading you one step closer to danger. But I also understood why you had to try. Everyone has regrets in life, but not everyone gets the chance to make up for them. Once allowed to fester, guilt strips us of our most valuable qualities as warriors. In that sense, we might as well choose the braver path from the very beginning. If I could do it all over again, I would have followed Malco to the front lines no matter what. Even with an injured leg, there were still things I could have done. That way, even if the outcome stayed the same, I still would have fought alongside him to the end.
Ja, aber das sind doch also was wäre wenn Gedanken. Am Ende wären sie eh gestorben.
There are critical junctures in life, and if you don't seize the chance to act, there's no going back. That's something I had to learn in hindsight, but you're still at the crossroads of your journey, so I hope you can walk away without regrets.
Thank you, Vichama. I feel even more determined now. Kachina will come back to us. I'll make sure of it. I promised I would find her, and I intend to keep that promise.
That's good to hear. Strange. My body, it's...
Once abyssal corrosion enters the body, a portion will fuse itself to your internal organs. Even though the Traveler possesses powers of purification, the corrosion can never be fully eradicated. Thanks to him, though, you were only briefly exposed. Slowing your breathing and controlling your emotions should help you keep the symptoms in check.
Hä? Achso, okay, das war eine Bilder. Ich dachte jetzt, er wäre zum Geist geworden.
Huh. That does make me feel better. You seem very knowledgeable about all this.
Just speaking from experience, that's all.
Anyway, we've recovered Kachina's ancient name, so we're off to a great start. Let's get Vichama back to his tribe and tell Wyna the good news. Oh, and apologize for destroying the Spirit Speaker Stone. We had no choice, though, so he'll probably understand.
Oder? Was, sind die Feinde? Okay. Da war gerade Gäste, Quatsch, ich hab da gerade ja, Monster-Puff-Geräusche gehört.
Koichi, are you really gonna just stand there like that? I don't know what you want from me.
I think you know exactly what I'm trying to say, Uncle Wyna. I can hear it in your voice.
Honestly, it's just one thing after another with you two. They're back.
Koichi? What are you doing here?
Don't play dumb with your own sister. You know exactly why I'm here.
Ist sie Schwester? Wurde da jemand adoptiert? Oder warum hat sie nicht dieselben Ohren?
My apologies, everyone. I just need to borrow Chasca for a few minutes. You come with me.
I'll be just a moment.
Vielleicht sind sie nicht eineige Halbzwillinge, wie die beiden Geschwister aus der Resident Evil Serie. Ihr wisst schon, die gefloppte von Netflix.
Who is that?
Koichi, Chasca's younger sister. Although the two aren't actually related by blood, it's kind of a long story.
Okay, da hat sich das jetzt auch erklärt.
It's not really my story to tell, but I guess it's not a secret. You see, Chasca was actually raised by cuckoo sores. She was afflicted with a rare disease when she was a child, and abandoned in the wild as a result. The Abyss found her out there, all on her own, and tried to devour her. But in the end, all that did was trigger her will to live. That strength of will pushed her to survive. But it also planted a seed of conflict within her. Eventually, she was adopted by the cuckoo sores. Wherever they went, she followed, getting into fights right and left.
For some reason, Paimon can totally imagine that.
Well, when Chasca finally returned to human society, it was Koichi's parents who adopted her. At the time, Chasca still had a habit of getting into fights, so Koichi was always taking her around, apologizing to everyone.
Ah, I remember those days. One of those fights was definitely with me. But, you know, kids. You're fighting one minute and your friend's the next. Eventually, she found a way to rein in that desire to fight. And now she's who people call to resolve conflicts. She's known as the Peacemaker. It sounds like she still argues with Koichi, though. Don't siblings usually stop fighting when they get older?
Eher nicht.
That's partly my fault. Koichi asked me to stop Chasca from doing anything dangerous, but you probably know by now, once Chasca makes up her mind, there's no changing it.
Oh, I get it. No wonder you tried to talk us out of going to the Night Kingdom. Chasca even said that wasn't like you.
I'm all for your adventure. You need to take risks when you're young, because by the time you're my age, you couldn't attempt something like that even if you wanted to. Better try now than live with regrets later. Still, I can understand where Koichi's coming from. In the end, nobody wants to sit back and let a loved one put their life on the line.
All right, it's just the two of us now. You have 1 minute to explain yourself.
I don't have anything to say. You don't have to approve, but you should know I only do what's necessary.
That attitude is exactly the problem. It's like you don't care. You try to sneak off to the Night Kingdom behind my back and then play it down as if it's just a trip abroad.
Well, technically I am going abroad, right?
Again with the excuses! We agreed, didn't we? There are 4 levels of danger. If it's not something urgent, you can only engage in level 2 danger and below. You can only go up to level 3 if a situation is so dire there's absolutely no alternative. But a trip to the Night Kingdom? If that's not a level 4, I don't know what is. And you were just going to sneak into the place without saying anything.
What do you mean, sneak into the place? I always planned on walking in there with my head held high.
You bought off Uncle Wina, didn't you? He promised me he'd stop you from doing anything dangerous. Oh, it's like he didn't even try.
You feel like he went back on his word. What if I told you my mind was made up, and there was nothing he could have done? Not even by force.
Oh, I knew it! So he did try to say something, but you didn't listen.
This is important. If you were in my shoes, you'd make the same decision.
You don't know that? I'm a doctor, and I handle logistics. If you're going to waltz into a dangerous situation where you could lose control at any moment, it's my duty to say something.
Okay, mal jetzt erkennen können, dass sie Ärzte ist. Ich meine, sie trägt einen Kittel und hat einen Beutel mit Kräutern dabei. Oder was ist das?
All right, whatever. Anything else?
Oh, you... What do you mean, anything else? Why don't you reflect on what you've done and promise me you'll stay put?
Time out. Is this one of our normal arguments or a serious one?
Chasca, does it sound like I'm joking?
Then... you need to know something. What happened to Kachina was partially my fault. I can't leave her there to die. That's not who I am.
But the person you become when you lose control, that's also not who you are.
That's a different issue. You said it yourself. A person is only as good as their morals. If I want to live in Natlan, I need to display qualities that make me worthy of this nation.
I've also told you that managing your condition is equally important.
Sometimes you have to make sacrifices. All right, let's stop this here. If we keep going, I might actually have to get serious. And I think Wina prefers his roof attached to his house.
Is that a threat? That sounds like a threat to me.
Koichi! Younger sisters are supposed to listen to their elders.
So, you're really going to go, no matter what I say? I'm supposed to be your sister.
Then support me. I'll be back. All you have to do is wait.
Chasca. So, that's it. Why'd you have to turn out to be so darn annoying.
Wisst ihr, wie die Diskussion, die ich mit Eike manchmal führe?
You two are something else.
Something you wanted to say?
I know you aren't related by blood, but you two sure are similar.
Really?
You know, I said that very thing to Koichi not too long ago, and she reacted the exact same way, down to the... It's not my place to get involved, but I will say this. Try to spend a little more time with your sister. You're tough kids. That doesn't mean you have to go it alone.
Da war der Finger ein bisschen zu schnell.
Thank you.
Anytime. All right. If you're done with the Spirit Speaker Stone, you might as well hand it over.
Ach ja, oh, ich muss da kurz weg.
According to Kinich, it's an important ceremonial artifact, so it'd be safer to keep it with me.
Es wird seit Tausenden von Jahren von Familie zu Familie übergeben. Wir haben übergeben. Übergeben? Das geht falsch.
About that.
If only Tonegif Bard was here, he could have repaired it just like the Holy Liar.
It might be in a few more pieces than you remember.
Huh?
Ja, Kid verhindert den Ablauf der Geschehnisse.
I see. Sounds like it was an urgent situation. If someone's life was on the line, then you had no choice.
Er stand nur 3 Tage vor seiner Pensionierung.
Still, Citlali's going to be a nightmare to deal with now that you've broken her stuff. I'll explain everything to her later. Stay safe out there in the Night Kingdom, okay? I'll wait here for your safe return.
Utabi bringt Kachias alten Namen zu Mauika. Auf Uika. Mal sehen, wo ist das Ding drin? Nein, das sind die Bruchstücke von Obsidian, die man zusammenfügen muss. Da braucht man 2 Stück, damit man in diese geheime Orte reinkommen kann, die so durch diese, wie heißt es? Da ist es. Kachias alter Name, ein unscheinbarer Obsidian, dessen Gewicht scheinbar etwas schwerer ist, als man vermuten würde. Angeblich soll man damit Kachinas ungefähren Aufenthaltsort bestimmen können. Ah, okay.
Something you wish to report?
Nein, halt mal jetzt die Klappe.
Go on.
Und ich habe jetzt schon gedacht, diese ganze Beschwörungsgeschichte mit den Steinen, das wäre jetzt hier das Königreich der Nacht gewesen. Wir haben nur den Namen quasi rausgefischt da aus den Fluss, in Anführungszeichen, von ihr. Ich habe jetzt schon wirklich befürchtet, dass jetzt hier, dass das ganze Königreich der Nacht gewesen wäre und es färbt sich einfach alles nur ein bisschen lila ein und so weiter. Ja gut, dann können wir jetzt wenigstens noch davon ausgehen, dass wir jetzt auch da mal wirklich reingehen, also persönlich. Aber erst... Wow, das ging auch schon was für ganz schön lange. Aber erst muss ich mich mal wieder kurz entspannen. Kurz entspannen, das klingt so, als wäre das super anstrengend, dieses ganze Aufnehmen hier. Ach ja, ich soll ja keine Begrüßung mehr machen. Gut, dann bringen wir mal den Obsidianstein, wo ich mich frage, warum eigentlich 2? Ach ja, stimmt, mit den anderen Namen. Deswegen sollten wir also 2 kaufen. Eigentlich hätte nur einer gereicht. Damit er auch den Namen von seinem Freund bekommt. Stimmt, jetzt erinnere ich mich. Ja, auf nach Mavuika? Ja, so heißt eigentlich der pure Arkon, nicht Murata, wie ich in der letzten Folge gesagt habe. Ja, das war wohl der, wie heißt es? Das war wohl anscheinend der Name, Quatsch. Das war wohl der Name, den sie ursprünglich in ihren Trailer bekommen hatte. Wie praktisch. Yeah, nochmal 5 Primos. Wie viel sind das jetzt? Naja, für 2... 3? Nee. 10er reicht's ja. Obwohl, ich habe ja noch hier. Ne? Aber wir warten lieber erstmal ab, bis sie dann im Banner auftauchen wird. Da werden sich dann alle drauf stürzen. Ja, Feuer, Akon.
Take it easy.
Mit brennenden, glühenden Haaren und fast nichts an. Und ein sehr aufwendiges Cosplay.
We're back! We found Kachina's ancient name, too!
Well, it's fairly complicated. Let me give you the condensed version.
Du erfährst vom Kampf des Pyroakons gegen Kapitane und von ihren
The
Opfern.
Fatui again? We can't go anywhere without them causing trouble.
But what if the Fatui finds out you've lost your power? Won't they try to take advantage of the situation?
That's why it has to be our little secret. No one else can know, or we're asking for trouble.
Schniff, schniff.
Look, I wish I could offer you some sort of consolation, but I won't lie to you. With multiple factions closing in, there's nothing comforting about the situation we're facing. Still, all you need to do is focus on your goal. You can leave the complicated matters to me.
I can also step in on the Pyro Archon's behalf. There's a limit to what I can accomplish, but I'll help you however I can.
There's no need to be so modest, Iansan. Your incredible strength has long been a well-known fact. You're the pride of your tribe.
Moment. Frage. Heißt sie jetzt miHoYo, weil sie jetzt ihre Pyro-Archon-Kräfte Kräfte jetzt quasi aufgegeben hat für das Feuer?
Archon, I'm sorry about before. You have so much on your plate. So much that you have to worry about. But all I could do was focus on my own feelings.
Auf die Frage, wenn jetzt kommt, hey, das musst du doch wissen, das hast du doch aufgenommen, da warst du doch dabei. Ja, die Aufnahmen, die sind, das habe ich erst gestern gemacht, deswegen weiß ich jetzt nicht mehr, stand bei ihren Namen Pyro-Archon oder miHoYo? Ich glaube nicht, oder?
You have nothing to be sorry about. We all get overwhelmed by our emotions, myself included. Your reaction to Kachina's disappearance, I understand that feeling very well. Well, now that we have Kachina's ancient name, let's go track her down. Follow me.
Ah, die Kammer der Geheimnisse, wie bei Hellboy.
What is this place?
Und da hinten ist der Speer des Longinus.
Hey, isn't that Atea's talisman?
Good eye. This is where I store all the various mementos I've collected.
Whoa. I've never seen this place before. There's so many things in here.
It looks like there are items from every tribe. Collecting them must have taken a lot of effort.
I suppose you could think of it as a hobby of sorts. In Natlan, everyone grows up listening to the stories of heroes, and physical items do a far better job of preserving those stories than our own memory. Now, I still have some preparations to make for the ceremony, so feel free to take a look around in the meantime. If you're curious about an item, I'm more than willing to tell you about its origins.
Alright, we'll have a look.
Erstmal umschauen? Nee, erstmal mit allen reden, erstmal reden. Das sind ja dann quasi die geheimen Dialoge.
Whoa, that belt is bigger than Paimon's head!
The Collective of Plenty are known for their bodybuilding competitions and contests of strength. This belt is a symbol of great honor within the tribe. The association with strength might also have been the reason the original belt was extremely heavy. It was difficult for even two people to lift. And even if a warrior had the strength to put it on, wearing it for any length of time would still leave them gasping for breath.
Sounds like it.
So the owner of the original belt, Kitera, commissioned a craftsman to make a copy identical in appearance but far lighter in weight. That is the belt you see before you. He would often wear this version when training in order to protect his waist.
Or he made a lighter version so he could wear it all the time and show it off.
Interessant. Könnte also quasi auch der... Kann ich nicht mehr mit denen reden? Doch, kann ich noch. Um quasi die Gewicht... Ja, ist das Gewicht zu... Ich bin aber noch ein bisschen... Ich bin noch ein bisschen traurig, Leute, weil ich musste jetzt gerade die ganzen Rohaufnahmen von, Drache? Nee, wie war's immer? Sommer, Drache, Märchenland, löschen. Das ist immer ein bisschen komisch. Weil man hat so lange dran gearbeitet.
Make sure to handle everything with care. This cup, for example, it's heavier than it looks.
Ist es zufälligerweise der Becher eines Zimmermanns? Nein, das wäre mir zu offensichtlich.
This flower looks like it's thriving. You must be good at taking care of plants, Archon.
Vielleicht wächst die von selbst.
Hey, there's a fishing rod here. It must have belonged to the people of the springs.
That's right. It belongs to a legendary fisherman named Matavaru. I have his entire set of fishing equipment, actually. He and I met in a tavern. He told me about a particular kind of giant fish and his meticulous plan to catch it. In his eyes, I saw a hunger and a strong fighting spirit. To him, the sea was the battlefield upon which he staked his honor.
So, did he do it?
The next time I saw him, he was covered in scars. It turned out the fish he sought had been corroded by the abyss. He managed to kill the fish, but sustained a serious injury in the process, which meant he could never go deep-sea fishing again. Can a fisherman claim victory if he fails to bring back his catch? That's what he asked me in the end.
Well, Paimon thinks he won.
That was my answer as well. The experience was far more valuable than the prize itself.
Der Weg ist wichtiger als das Ziel. Ja.
In the end, he didn't want his tools to go to waste, so he gave them to me.
Wait, that means you also know how to fish.
Maybe we can go head-to-head sometime.
Okay, jetzt könnte man hier wieder einen Wortwitz machen. Von wegen Head geben. Nein. So. Ja, da lernt man auch ein bisschen was über die Historie von Natlan.
This fishing basket looks familiar.
Haben wir sonst noch irgendwas? Nein. Ein Talisman? Ja, den Talisman, den kennen wir ja bereits.
There are so many jars and potions around here. Do they have anything to do with alchemy?
No, those belong to the Masters of the Nightwind. They're ceremonial tools used to amplify the ability to communicate with the Night Kingdom and the Wyab. Yamaya is an expert in this field, and she taught me a lot. Even though she appears stoic and serious, she actually has a keen sense of humor. The tools you see here are quite traditional. Her students found them outdated, so she passed them on to me. The contents of the jars aren't all that special. Oh, except the big jar in the middle. That's what she really wanted to give me.
Ooh, must be something really cool. What's inside?
Grape juice.
Cool.
It's quite tasty, although probably expired by now.
Dann nennt man es Wein. Das dürfen wir offiziell ja in Genshin nicht sagen, ne? Weil wegen Alkohol und so. Das ist kontrovers. Obwohl, das macht irgendwie keinen Sinn. Ich meine, wir haben hier... Okay, ich meine, sie ist jetzt nicht so bouncy wie jetzt ein ZZZ-Charakter. Ja, bestimmte, ich meine. Oder Wufa-Charakter, aber... Obwohl, naja, ihr wisst ja, Sex sells, nicht wahr? Auch wenn es die Leute nicht gerne hören wollen. Von wegen, ja, das ist sexistisch, aber naja, so ist das eben halt, ne? Wir Nerds hier sind halt so. Obwohl es nicht nur Nerds, das ist allgemein. Schon seit langem gibt es also dieses Konzept.
This is Atea's talisman.
I'm sure you're familiar with this one already. Atea was rarely ever without it.
Ups, jetzt habe ich abgebrochen. Moment nochmal. Macht ja eine Menge Glück. Oh nein, jetzt habe ich abgebrochen, verdammt. Obwohl, ne, das war anscheinend wohl nur ein Satz. Ach, wir können es zweimal anschauen. Interessant. Cool. Geheime Informationen oder Gedanken. Die Angelroute, die der legendäre Fischer Matavaru zurückgelassen hat. Wenn das Meer ein Schlachtfeld ist, dann ist dies sein Schwert gewesen. Ja, so kann man es auch nennen.
This flower looks like...
Ja, okay. Sie sagen nicht mal das. Sie sagen nicht mal was Neues. Kann man die Pflanzen betrachten? Nein. Der Gürtel von Kitara? Kitara, das war... Kitara ist ein... Mortal Kombat Charakter, oder? Nee, verwechsel ich, glaube ich, oder? Hierbei handelt es sich um eine Kopie des Originals. Sogar Paimon könnte ihn anheben. Also, wenn sogar Paimon den anheben kann. Ich würde gerne eher was über diesen Riesenhammer da zum Beispiel da erfahren. Krug. Die zeremoniellen Werkzeuge, die Yemaya, müsste ich mal, weil ich sollte mal richtig lesen lernen. verlassen hat, sowie das etwas deplatziert wirkende Gefäß mit Traubensaft. Man hätte ihn wahrscheinlich probiert, wenn sie nicht befürchtet hätte, dass er abgelaufen ist. Mich daran, dass ich mal versucht habe, das ist eine ganz komische Geschichte, ja, es klingt wahrscheinlich jetzt mehr peinlich. Ich habe mal irgendwie als Jugendlicher mal versucht, Wein anzusetzen oder herzustellen, in denen ich, was waren es, Brombeeren von draußen, von Straub bei uns hier, so eine Plastikschale, in so eine Tupperdose gepackt habe mit Wasser und so weiter, weil ich dachte, nee, so geht doch Wein, oder nicht? Ja, am Ende war es, naja, es war kein Wein, aber es hat sehr, naja, gerochen. Ja, sagen wir mal so. Ein echter Wein geht da natürlich ein bisschen anders, ne? Weil von wegen Pass und ich glaube, braucht man da auch Hefe für? Na, Weinhefe? Ich glaube, kommt drauf an. Ich bin mir nicht 100% sicher, aber so einfach geht es, glaube ich, nicht.
Whoa, this weapon is huge! Which tribe did it belong to?
Ah, that weapon belonged to Tenoch, a hero from 500 years ago. Strictly speaking, he didn't belong to any single tribe. That's because even before the disaster with the Abyss broke out, he had already been exiled.
Exiled?
It was a punishment imposed out of necessity, but he accepted it all the same. He believed it was what he deserved. When the Abyss attacked, the tribes found themselves in urgent need of a powerful figure to lead them into the battle, and there was no one more courageous or resolute than him. He united the 6 tribes and accomplished great feats throughout the war.
Ah, er war also quasi der, Sigma, oder wie heißt nochmal der? Heißt nochmal der, Warhammer Fantasy, ihr wisst schon, der Imperator, der ja alle geeignet hat mit seinen Warhammer. Ihr wisst schon, Kriegshammer halt.
Ultimately, he perished. And because he had already lost his ancient name, the Ode of Resurrection was unable to bring him back. And so, he was laid to rest, alongside the countless warriors and civilians who lost their lives, buried in the soil of his native land.
Wow, he sounds like a true hero.
Indeed, even now his story is told throughout the land.
Die Waffe, die der Held Tenoch vor 500 Jahren verwendete. Die Größe ist wahrlich wirklich beeindruckend. Ja, das wäre mindestens... Ja, das wäre eindeutig ein Zweihänder. Ich würde wahrscheinlich... wer würde den schwingen? Moment. Ich tippe auf... Nein. Ist er denn? Oh ja, ich tippe auf ihn hier. Er würde den versuchen zu schwingen, wahrscheinlich. Schon allein, weil er so ein, naja. Ihr wisst ja, weil er so einen fetten Hammer schwingt. Würde bestimmt gut zu ihm passen. Und was mir gerade aufgefallen in der der Sequenz gerade? Kann man das sehen? Da ist doch hier... Moment, kann ich da zufälligerweise ranzoomen? Ne, die geht, glaube ich, gar nicht, oder? Wartet mal. Ich wechsle mal gegen den... Kann ich da reinzoomen? Ja, kann ich. Ah, wen sehen wir denn da? Wir sehen Marika? Aber, ach Mann, der Name. Ruakon, das muss wohl die Familie sein. Vater, Mutter und kleine Schwester. Und natürlich die kleinen... Inzwischen müsste ich den Namen eigentlich wissen. Wie heißen denn diese Saurier, wo wir früher dachten, das wären Drachen? Ein bisschen näher vielleicht? Na, das ist jetzt nicht 100% der Mitte, aber... Einfach weil es geht. Wird bestimmt im Wiki wahrscheinlich auch noch irgendwie auftauchen von ihr. Unter den Materialien von wegen Bildern, wo man dann sehen kann, ah, hier sind ihre Familie. Hier ist ihre Familie abgebildet.
The powder still needs some time to settle. So let's wait a little longer. Well, what do you think of my collection? Do you feel like you have a better understanding of Natlan's culture now?
Yeah, if each item represents a different story, seems like Natlan's really been through a lot. Does every item hold a special memory, just like Atea's talisman?
That's right. The items in my collection actually serve a similar purpose to the ancient names passed down among the tribes. They demonstrate the true shape of time.
The shape of time?
Most people perceive time as a linear concept, almost like a straight line that can only move forward. We cannot change the past or predict the future.
Haben wir ein Zurück in die Zukunft gelernt? Oder was, Teil 2?
But there's also a different theory, one that I believe to be closer to the truth. Namely, that the past, present, and future all exist at once.
At once? Paimon's not sure she understands.
Let's say your journey ended right now. Thinking back on your experience in each nation, which one would you say was the most important? Exactly. Even at the end of your journey, the things you experienced along the way don't cease to exist. They become part of who you are. Take out a portion of that journey, and you would likely make very different decisions, and eventually arrive at a very different destination. The future is the same way. It exists even though it has yet to come to pass. We just lack the means to perceive it.
Da würde ich allerdings Mona mal fragen, nicht wahr?
Of course, there are those with the power to foresee the future. They simply call it by a different name. Fate. You're quite familiar with that concept, I would imagine.
That does kinda make sense. The future hasn't happened, but already exists.
Humanity excels at living in the present, but too often we forget the past and neglect the future. While the pilgrimage and the Night Warden Wars lead us to a better future. Only by uniting the people of Natlan across countless eras can we fight back against an enemy as formidable as the Abyss. To come up with such a set of rules, the first Pyro Archon must have possessed a level of insight I can only imagine. That's correct. At first, he was a mortal man with no special power. After he ascended to the Divine Throne, he used it to borrow power from the heavens and establish the rules of Natlan.
Das sollte man noch mal nachschlagen, den Namen.
Namely, a framework through which ordinary people can ascend to Archonhood. By holding the pilgrimage, we're able to determine the strongest among us. And when that person ascends to the Divine Throne, their inner flame will awaken. In addition, the Sacred Flame will grant them significant knowledge and memory of this land. After all, that's how I came to know everything I just told you.
So, it all comes down to the power of the Divine Throne and the rules. Wait, is that a family portrait?
Habe ich ja schon festgestellt, erkannt.
Yes, that's my mother, father, younger sister, and the little Saurians we raised. I turned a piece of my dad's leather armor into a canvas and commissioned a famous artist to paint our likeness.
Your sister is so cute! It looks like the two of you are really close. Paimon was having a hard time thinking of an Archon as an ordinary person, but seeing this portrait, it kind of makes sense now. It really doesn't look like there was anything special about you before. Oh, wait, is Paimon allowed to say that?
A little late for that question, don't you think?
Sorry! Paimon's so sorry! Paimon's mouth works faster than her brain sometimes!
Und ihr Bauch, nee Quatsch, ihr Magen arbeitet noch schneller.
It's all right. I'd never get upset over something like that. No matter what others may say, my past is a precious part of my identity. I'm forever proud of the life I used to lead. Becoming the Archon doesn't mean you sever ties with your family. The position just comes with a lot of responsibilities, so it impacts how often you get to see them. My father made the most delicious stew, so my sister would often bring me a large pot of his cooking, and he would sit on a blanket and eat it together. One time, we didn't close the door securely, and the Saurians you were raising ran into the room and knocked over the entire pot. My sister immediately burst into tears. The two troublemakers were going for the meat, but when they saw my sister's distress, they froze on the spot. I still remember the way they laid there, sulking like a pair of children, even after making such a mess. It was frustrating, but in the end, all I could do was comfort my sister and move on.
Wow.
Isn't that what being a family is all about? I think about that story a lot, actually. As the Archon, I made a vow to defend this nation, and experiences like that, they remind me exactly what I'm trying to protect.
Well, what happened after that? This portrait looks pretty old. Your sister must be all grown up by now, right?
I believe she ended up working as an architect and artist. She built many houses and crafted many beautiful works of art. Anyway, that's enough about me. Now that the powder is settled, we can begin. Iansan, Mualani, Chasca, over here, please.
Kommt es mir nur mir so vor, oder was bist du ein bisschen verdächtig, dass sie von denen in Vergangenheitsformen geredet hat? Die hatte gebaut. Nicht, sie hat gebaut.
Place the ancient name up there, and then we'll begin.
Hab ich jetzt groß den Twist vorweggenommen, dass die Familie inzwischen tot ist? Ich meine, das könnte ja sein. Ist das jetzt der Moment? Ist das jetzt der Odysseus? Wohl, es könnte auch Herkules-Moment sein, in dem wir jetzt in die Unterwelt hinabsteigen? Habe ich eigentlich schon gedacht, als wir den Namen von ihr finden sollten, dass das jetzt kommen würde. Jetzt bin ich aber gespannt, wie das jetzt aussieht. Erstmal muss ich nochmal einen kurzen Moment, erstmal nehmen wir mal einen Schluck. Mir wird den Mund wieder den Mund wieder musselig geredet. Quatsch, den Mund wieder fusselig geredet.